Hitman took a contract on me until he discovered I was the crime boss who'd hired him to test my security team. Vincent Castillo had been tracking me for 3 weeks, studying my daily routines with the methodical precision of a professional killer who'd never missed a target in 20 years. He knew I left my penthouse at exactly 7:15 a.m. for my morning jog, always taking the same route through Central Park before stopping at the corner deli for coffee. What Vincent didn't know was that I'd been watching him watch me, enjoying the irony of my most trusted assassin stalking his own employer through high-powered scopes and telephoto lenses. The $500,000 contract on my head had come through the usual channels: encrypted messages, cryptocurrency payments, and a detailed dossier explaining how dangerous I was to certain business interests. Vincent had accepted the job immediately, not recognizing the photo of the man who'd been signing his paychecks for 15 years. His reputation as the ghost made him the obvious choice for this particular test of my security systems. Vincent's surveillance escalated when he rented the apartment across from mine, setting up sniper equipment and planning what he intended to be a clean, long-distance elimination. Through his scope, he watched me conducting business meetings that he interpreted as criminal conspiracy, never realizing he was observing board meetings for my legitimate pharmaceutical companies. His extensive notes documented my suspicious visitors, actually senators, federal judges, and Fortune 500 CEOs who sought my counsel on various matters. Vincent even photographed my security detail, planning to eliminate them first before taking his primary shot. What he saw as criminal bodyguards were actually off-duty federal agents I employed for protection against people exactly like Vincent. His tactical analysis was flawless, identifying weak points in my protection that I deliberately created to test whether he'd exploit them. The irony was delicious. My own assassin was conducting the exact security audit I'd hired him to perform. The assassination attempt began at 6:45 a.m. when Vincent triggered a small explosion in my building's parking garage, designed to force me into a predetermined escape route where he'd set up his killing zone. His plan was military-grade precision: create chaos, funnel the target, execute the shot, disappear in the confusion. What Vincent didn't anticipate was that my security team had been expecting this exact scenario because I'd briefed them on his methods years ago. As alarms blared and smoke filled the garage, I calmly walked toward the exit Vincent had calculated I'd use, knowing he was positioned on the rooftop across the street with a rifle trained on my chest. My bulletproof vest was unnecessary. Vincent never missed his targets, but today he was about to learn that his target wasn't what he appeared to be. The red laser dot dancing across my chest belonged to the man I'd trained to be invisible, untraceable, and absolutely lethal. Vincent's finger was tightening on the trigger when his earpiece crackled with an incoming call on his emergency frequency, a number only 3 people in the world possessed. "Vincent, this is your employer," I said calmly while standing directly in his crosshairs. "Before you pull that trigger, you might want to check the contract details more carefully." Through his scope, he watched me answer my phone with the same voice that was speaking in his ear. "The target you've been hunting for 3 weeks is standing in front of your rifle scope right now," I continued, while looking directly up at his position. "And he's the same man who's been paying you $2 million annually for the past 15 years. Vincent's rifle wavered as his professional composure cracked, the realization hitting him like a physical blow. "Marcus Romano sends his regards," I added, referencing the rival crime family that had supposedly issued the contract. But the payment came from my personal account, not his. The revelation shattered Vincent's reality as he processed the magnitude of what had almost happened. His most loyal contractor had just spent 3 weeks planning to assassinate the crime boss who'd given him everything: money, purpose, protection, and a family when he'd had nothing. Through his scope, he watched me calmly discussing his sniper position, security weaknesses he'd identified, and timeline flaws in my protection detail that needed immediate correction. "Your infiltration took 18 days instead of the anticipated 14, I explained while his hands shook on the rifle. "And you missed the panic room entrance behind the bookshelf on your 3rd surveillance pass." Vincent's phone buzzed with a wire transfer notification: his $500,000 fee for the contract, plus a $200,000 bonus for identifying security gaps that could have gotten me killed by a real enemy. "Consider this your annual performance review," I said while walking back into the building. "Same time next year, but try to be more creative with the explosive diversion." Vincent sat on that rooftop for another hour, staring through his scope at empty space, processing how the man he'd almost murdered had just paid him to save his own life.